Hey everyone, welcome to Art Talk Session 8. Travis unfortunately had a work emergency, but filling in for him is Ali Hyder, our good friend. Ali, you want to say hi to everyone?
Hey guys, how's it going? Nice to be here.
And we are joined today by the very skilled Alex Chaudret. Uh, hey there, Alex.
Hey.
Hey Alex.
All right, so
Hi.
I guess to get started, what was like your initial, what initially inspired you to get into art?
From the very beginning, like
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I
I guess
was
your earliest memory.
5 years old. Well, yeah, if I have to really start from the beginning, it's 5 years old because my
Hmm.
parents took me to a sort like art school, but art camp or something like this,
Hmm.
and that's where I basically started. And I made 14 years of this art camp every Wednesday. It was like drawing and doing some modeling stuff and everything for kids, then for adults and stuff. So that's where I really started. I can even remember my first drawing was like a boat with some ducks flying behind the boat, and my second drawing was the Eiffel Tower burning.
Wow. Usually
So
it's like
my
an apple or a house or a tree.
exactly, and
Maybe.
my I remember the look of my mother saying, "It's really beautiful," but we know with a true fear in the eyes. But that's how I started, and well, now I'm no more doing Eiffel Tower burning, but monsters. So I think it's quite similar.
Still the same spectrum. Was that something that they kind of put you into, or was that something that you wanted to go into?
Well,
Because
they were always seeing that I was always drawing every day, and I liked inventing stuff, and they saw I think that I was not very good at sports,
Hmm.
and so they had to choose between putting me in a soccer team or art team, and they thought art team would be better for me, and so yeah, basically that's how it started. But yeah, no, I was not like pushed in it. I was really happy to do it, and I've done it for 14 years, so every day was perfect. But that's
Hmm.
the really real first beginning point
Okay.
when it started to be something real, like it started to be concrete. It was
Yeah.
more like 16, 17, I guess.
That's when you really started getting serious about this
Yeah,
career.
because what you have to know is when until I was something like 16, I wanted to be a vet, a veterinarian.
and
like,
Wow.
and I had an internship and at a veterinary guy, and it was just so hard and awful to see all those animals suffer and stuff that I said I just can't do it. It can't be possible for me. And
Hmm.
so I basically looked into the like Inception stuff and said, okay, what can I do? What's my goal in life? What do I like? And it was drawing and painting and creating weird stuff and monsters and everything. And so that's how I said, okay, I have to do this for my job. And I told my parents, and they were a bit scared because my two parents are absolutely not artists. They are commercial guys and
Hmm.
great parents, but absolutely not art style. And so they had to discover a completely new world, and knowing they had to push their first boy in this world, and so it was quite difficult for them
So at
to
16 or
discover
17,
everything.
were you aware of this whole concept world or
Absolutely
this
not.
whole world?
Absolutely not.
So how did you
Uh,
come to the decision that I could make money off of it?
well, in fact, there were I was a very big video game player, And I knew, because I saw there were art stuff in the video games, that there were a possibility that those guys doing art were paid, so that I could pay my game. It's basically how I thought about it. And after there was, those video games reviews, magazines, and they were speaking a bit about all this. And I think, yes, the big point that changed my life, I don't have one here, but it's Warhammer. Because Warhammer, there are always showing a lot the arts of those of guys and or the artists working on it, like Adrian Smith or Boyle and stuff like this. And so I was buying White Dwarf, that was the magazine of Warhammer, and every day I was like reading and rereading all the White Dwarf magazines, because they were full of beautiful paintings and drawings. And sometimes there were interviews, like John Blanche in it, and I saw that it could be an actual job. And so that's how I managed myself, that it could be worth it. I had a completely bad level drawing at 16, but I knew I could. I had to manage to do this. I had to.
So when you were like starting your like pursuit at getting a job, did you start just as freelance, or did you immediately try to get in league with like a studio?
Well, before I made 6 years of art school, so I had the time to understand, discover what was the art world. As I was saying just before, I made a 3D art school, so I was not in like a concept art school or art center stuff. I was made to be a 3D director, so more doing like 3D movies and stuff. And at the end of this school, it's a 5-year school named Superinfocom. It's quite well known in France. You had to do your own movie with a group of schoolmates, and in my movie group, I was like the artist guy. So I made the story and the art and the character design and all those stuff like this. And that's when I knew that was the branch I wanted to go in, instead of being like a technical or animator or stuff like this. And I didn't have to think a lot of how I will start my professional job, because at the end of my school, it's a studio who came and proposed me a job. So and so it was a small company named Spiders, which is a French company of independence, but who are working on. It's not a triple A game, let's say double A games, of with very small budget and stuff, of RPG action RPG games. And I worked for something like 3.5 years, almost 4 years for them, before changing and going to Gameloft.
And Gamesloft is where you're at right now, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, for 1 year now, 1 year and 1 month.
Wow.
Already?
So at Gamesloft, could you tell us a little bit about your experience there, kind of like what you do?
Well, when I was at Spiders, I was not a concept artist, not full-time concept artist. I was a cinematic artist. So I was basically directing the cutscenes and cinematics for the game. So I had more like storyboard and directing and camera stuff.
Motion capture type of things?
Motion capture directing. Like I did some motion capture with the actors of The Witcher.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I can tell you that the real Witcher is absolutely amazing. he knows, all the fighting styles in the world, and he's so passionate. Even when he takes some vacation, it's to learn some new fighting styles. So he's somebody absolutely incredible. Yeah, he's brilliant, and it was the best moments in my cinematic experience was those motion capture sessions, because first of all it was with my very good friends from the animation team, because I really am bound with animators and game designers. I always find friends in those two groups because I don't know, maybe we have a connection, something like this. And the guys from, it was in Krakow in Poland, and those are absolutely very, very nice guys, very kind and very professional, and very good drinkers too. And yeah, those sessions were really the best, and I learned a lot, because I never directed real human beings, because in 3D school you do some personal acting, and after you direct 3D puppets, and but directing real humans, finding how they have to move, what's possible, not possible, and stuff. It was really a blowing mind experience.
Yeah, I bet you learned a lot too, like regarding, for your art as well, like seeing like how, especially with him doing all the fighting styles and stuff, seeing like the body's limitations. I bet that kind of transferred over a bit.
Well, actually, what they liked, the Witcher guy liked when he was working with me, is I am quite keen on all the Japanese stuff, and all the old anime like Senseiya and all Dragon Ball Z stuff.
Yeah.
I had a lot of this kind of anime in my way of directing. So a lot of power and one punch guy and stuff like this, and I think that's what I liked the most. It was to bring those Japanese to real, because it was he was a perfect guy. I could do like a crazy choreography fighting style with, you're gonna take the sword, you put the sword, you stab the sword in the monster, and then you turn around and you push the monster above your head and stuff. So this looks impossible, but we made it. We made it in motion capture, and it was just so awesome. Like, we put some very heavy weights of sand on his sword, and it was like, I don't know how much, maybe 60 kilos or 80 kilos, I guess. And so he was above his head, and it flew away.
But it sounds like a lot of technical stuff in motion capture, is it?
Yeah, it's quite weird, because it's very, very technical with all the cameras and what you can do, how do you have to start. Like, you have to start in T-pose, and after you have to finish in T-pose, and everything. But it's quite close, we see it with the sound engineers, that sometimes, they take pieces of wood and do, and it makes thunder, and and it's because sometimes it's okay, and now we need a double-handed sword with spikes on it, and they take a stick, they put some wrap stuff and sticks everywhere, and that's it, that you have your sword. So it's always, a little bit like playing around. It's like if you were in a school ground with very big kids, and you could do all the imaginary stuff and fighting you were doing when you were at school.
Yeah.
When like, okay, you're gonna be the knight and you are the dragon. I don't look like a dragon. Yeah, do like this, and that's it. You're the dragon, and it's exactly this in motion capture.
Wow.
It must be a lot of fun.
Really, it was really blind, really blind, blah blah. It was really great.
So,
That's awesome.
what was it that kind of made you shift gears, I guess, in your career to switch over to concept art for Gamesloft?
Well, when I was at Spiders, I was still doing concept art stuff, for them, but more because they had a very, very small team of concept art. Like they had one concept artist for the whole game, and sometimes they went up to two. And so I was like some half time doing concept art for them in the moments where I couldn't work on the cinematics, because cinematics, it's really at the beginning of the game and at the end, because you have to prepare everything, then the game has to be done, and after you have to build the cinematics and put them in the game and work and see if they work. But you have a lapse of time where you can't work as much as you want on the cinematics. So at this moment, I was doing like concept art for the studio. And I learned a lot because it was my first concept art job. So that's where I learned that it's not just doing what you like to do. It's not just doing what you want to do. It's mostly to do what you're asked for. And sometimes it's frustrating because what you did is not going to be in the game, and sometimes it's just mind-blowing great because you can finally see the gun you designed in the game or the monster.
Your creation.
And,
yeah.
Yeah, and actually that's one of the big revelation is I made some monsters for spiders, and I could see the full process chain where my drawing became a 3D model, then became a rig, then became a monster in the game, and then had all the animation set and the game design process and everything. And yeah, this was the revelation when I said it's so cool to see something I drew becoming something real and something that players are going to fight against, And so I made something like 3.5 years, I said, at Spiders. And yeah, I was getting more and more like I want to drop the 3D stuff, all the technical problems, and also the politics, because I was the lead of the cinematic pool because I was alone. So I was the lead of myself, and myself is really a bad manager. And I was less and less interested by the politics and the career stuff, and because it was taking just too much time, in my mind, and it was too difficult and too frustrating to not see some things going forward, or even just on how I thought it had to go, and it was not good, neither for me, neither for the studio. And so I was thinking, like, what if I change completely, etc. And what you have to know is I started my freelance activity when I was at Spiders, but like a side job, like in 2012. And that's how I started, to find my first clients, and learning how to be exposed, and it was CG Hub and things like this, having a blog and a portfolio and everything. And like it was my site.
Yeah, sorry. One thing I'm curious about is that you were a 3D artist, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Your works in the concept art is mostly 2D paintings.
Yeah.
So, but don't you think, like, how did you make that shift? Because you were obviously already technically.
I think the main word for this is frustration, because during all my 3D course, I was like frustrated not painting that much and doing art, 2D art stuff, even if I was really loving doing 3D sculptures and everything. And I think it's just like a balance, and so I was doing so much 3D stuff and so less 2D stuff that now that I can do 2D stuff for a living, I did
Nice.
completely overwhelmed the balance. And but I must say this, I took a resolution this year, and I think I will go back to ZBrush because I've done some ZBrush for spiders and a very, very long time ago, and that was really cool, and I think I should go back and try again. But the main factor I didn't start it yet is time, because I have no time. But I should. It's two parts of a different job. Now I have, I had a void of 2D. I needed to do some 2D back and draw every day and paint every day. Now I have it in my actual job, so it's like fulfilled.
Yeah.
And so now I am happy because when I go back at home and I start to paint again, it's for personal stuff, and I can like free my mind, not thinking about is this painting is gonna work on CGHub or ArtStation, or is this gonna be appealing for clients, or is this gonna be liked or stuff. Now I can just do my stuff, show it, because we all have to show it. It's not a lie. We have to show our work just to be seen on the web. But now it's more free-minded, like I can do what I like, and I don't care if it's liked by other persons or stuff. It's because I am fulfilled. I do drawings every day, and so it's like free-minded stuff. But someday I'll go back to 3D. I'll try again, I think.
Yeah, it's really nice to see that you are always exploring, because you're already working as a 3D artist, but since you feel like you weren't doing a lot of 2D, you decided to explore it.
Yeah.
And, it's a completely different thing. You must have realized that it's you have to expand your their techniques. Yeah.
Yeah, it's well. I had a very, very good professor in Superinfocom, whose name was Mr. Bijast. Those from my school will remember this guy. He was, old-fashioned art guy, but extremely good, incredibly good. But you needed a time to understand where he wanted you to go and what he wanted you to do, because he had the old-fashioned way of seeing art, and it's completely the opposite of our conception of art. Actually, we are more in the entertainment art stuff, in the not fashion, but explosion, Japanese, comic book and stuff and everything. And the first exercise he gave us at school was to do geometric animals. And so I went into school thinking every day I'm going to do some great warriors with big swords and guns and everything. And he said, first you're going to do a chicken. And I said, oh no! But this guy, he knew really the essential points of composition of true design and everything, and he put it in all of our minds, and he spotted, and we just can't forgive it. It's like forget it. It's like now we see everything in geometric forms and
you really
stuff.
can push fundamentals. I take it, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the fundamentals, but because in the internet we always talk about the fun. We have now some some gimmicks. You have to work your fundamentals. You have to work the perspective. You have to get out of your comfort zone. This is annoying because there are a lot of ways to learn art. There are a lot of ways to express art, and I think one of the best ones is having fun.
Yeah.
And having fun is not every day thinking about, am I in my comfort zone? Do I have my fundamentals right? Is it going to be appealing on 3D or any ArtStation stuff. This is, you know, too. It's too much constraints on how do you think art. Well, anyway, this guy, he was a sculptor before doing art things, and he had a very, very different approach of drawing because he was a sculptor. And one day he told me, when we were just together face to face, he told me, Alexandre, you are a painter. You will never be a good sculptor. And I was so sad. What? I want to be like you. And he said, because you work with forms and volumes on a 2D blank canvas, and you paint your imagination. And me, I draw my lines and my sculpture on the canvas, and I see it how it's gonna turn and stuff. And I think he had a real good point. I think I will always have, even if I work 3D a lot, even if I can manage on ZBrush and stuff, I will always have this painting mind, painter mind, and that's why I will always have a 2D approach, even on the 3D stuff.
That's actually one of my favorite aspects of your work, though, is like there's a great sense of in your paintings. Like I can feel like it has a good feeling of stroke and everything. Like that was what actually drew me to your work. I saw it was I guess a minute ago you were talking about doing personal projects. The one that I really like that I've been following of yours is the wild vampire stuff that you do.
Yeah, that's the recent stuff.
Yeah,
when I was talking about free-minded stuff, well, yeah. This is one of the projects where I am completely free-minded. I said, okay, what do I like? I like vampires. I like woman curves and beauty thing like this. Bam! Wild.
And so is this just like is it like just a series you're doing, or is it going to be like an actual narrative behind it, or are you just kind of seeing where it goes?
I think it's, I don't know. I'm just letting it,
let it happen.
Let it happen, exactly. Because I told once at one of my best friends, I was explaining him how I was doing and feeling concept art, and especially character design, and I always have weird explanations, so hang on. Actually, I see character design like you have a door or a portal with a door, and behind this door, like it's your imagination, and there is the character, and the only thing he wants is to get out from the door and be and become real. And you, the artist, is the only one who can have the key for the door, and the key is actually doing the painting. Sometimes you succeed, and so you don't know why, or it's because you're very talented, or I don't know, and you did the perfect key for the door. Door opens, and so the character becomes real. So everybody can see it on your painting, and they have a connection, and like, oh yeah, I can see how it moves. I can see her. How she's great. She's awesome. She's sexy, or everything. And this is the great moment when you're the artist, is when you can open this door. Sometimes you don't know why, or because you didn't work enough, or because it's too early. You don't do the good key, and either the door opens just a little bit, and so you can see the character, but it's not, he didn't live yet, he's not alive. And sometimes the door just stay shut down, and you have either to go find another door, or you have to try again to do another key. And what I told to my friend is actually this this feeling I have when I just didn't open the door enough, sometimes I actually feel like the character is sad, you know, and I feel bad for him. Like I'm so sorry I couldn't open the door. And yeah, I hear you. You're laughing. No, but
Oh, no,
It's
no, this
it's got
is
to
a
be
good
a good
explanation.
motivator there, right? You're like, I
And-
can't leave him in there.
and me, I mean, this is like my motivation to do character design. Is like I have to do it for the character, not just for me. Of course, it's like a metaphor stuff, but
Yeah, but it's
No,
good
how I feel, you know.
to have
Well,
to give your character life before even before
Yeah.
it comes to life. So I think
Often- often,
definitely a great
it's like-
motivator.
But sometimes, you know, you create characters or designs from chaos. I love to do that. But for me, when I do those kind of things, maybe it's surely gonna be for the demo we're gonna do after. It's gonna be like this. We'll create from nothing. That means you're building the door at the same time you're building the key, and so this is complete chaos. You don't know what's gonna come out. But I like it also because sometimes, you know, you just want to be like a free-minded guy. But
Yeah, I guess on that subject, I guess we should, try to open the door. Did you have a demo prepared, right?
no. It's gonna be complete chaos.
Excellent.
Alright.
So should I share screen?
Yeah. Just share the screen, and then I guess we'll get started.
Okay. So selection, not YouPorn, but Adobe Photoshop. That's it. Do you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So okay, now basically I can't see you guys. I can't see myself. I just see what I'm doing on screen. That's it.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, you can see my brush set. Well, all my brushes.
Nice selection there.
Basically, I think I use like 5 of them. Because it's I almost never created brushes. Maybe those yeah, I think those 4 are something I created, and all the others are from other artists. I think the biggest set of them are from Anthony Jones, somebody who is well known, I think, and I use some of them, but for a very long time I use the default round brush for almost everything, and just sometimes now a lot in fact I use like this one and this one, something like that makes some painting effects or texture effects. And in fact I use them. I can explain why I use those brushes. Like this one is one of them, the brushes I use the most. I had for a long time I painted with acrylics, so real paintings. And if you look my brushes, they look basically like this. Okay, a bit like a broom. And if you look at this brush from the top, it's like this. And so if you look my brush, it's the same. So it's just like I can find back the feelings I had when I was painting with those kind of brushes.
Yeah, it was actually something I was really curious about, was the type of brushes you use, because like something I'm working on is trying to get like more of a painterly feel, and that's something that you really excel in.
Well, I guess what's really important at first is the composition and the design of everything. And after that, if you want to add some painting feelings, the best way is to start is maybe to add some textures from, I made a lot of paintings on a paper, and I put them after on texture, and I scan them and I put it on the Photoshop. At first, that's what I was doing. And now, well, I have those kind of brushes, like completely chaos stuff, and I paint just with those. And I think to have a painting effect, the best way is just to be free-minded and absolutely don't think about what you are doing. And then when you, well, I'm going to go back to my metaphor with the door, but when you start to feel the door, you can start to paint really the character in it. It's not painting effect. It's not really a technical issue, I think. It's really something like you have to feel. I don't know if it's makes sense to you, but
kind of just have to trust your natural inclinations, I guess.
Yes, exactly. And I don't like, it's one of the gimmicks, but the visual library. But I think if you like this kind of paintings, if you like the art style and old-fashioned oil paints and everything, you have it in mind, and so you can feel that you are doing something in this kind of art style when you're starting to paint.
Mm-hmm.
It comes naturally.
A lot of established artists sort of start in a very chaotic manner and build up to something. But would you recommend this to somebody who's starting out?
Well, actually, I would never recommend anything to anybody. Well, it's not true. I've done some teaching, and learning to students and everything.
Mm.
And there are always process and ways to do things and ways to paint, but these days I am a lot on the internet stuff. I look a lot of groups like yours or all those art teaching groups, and I think there are more and more gimmicks and very this is the way you have to do it. If you don't do it this way, you're never gonna succeed. And I don't agree with this with this way of doing. For me, each time I have a student or somebody coming on Facebook or asking me, how do you do, what's your brushes and everything, usually I say my brushes are all the default ones and the round brush, and I do everything with it. It's not true, but because I don't want somebody to just think with the technical issue and the brush issue and everything. I want him to think with, what do I want to tell? What do I want to express? And what's my tools to express this? Did I succeed in expressing what I wanted and stuff like this? After, of course, you can discuss for hours of what are the good fundamentals, what are I don't know, did you learn perfect perspective? Do you know your anatomy and stuff? But it is important. It is one of the major thing of everything in art. But I don't know if it's something you have to always recommend first. I think it's sometimes more important to, like concept art. There are two words in it. There are concept and art, and a person are forgetting the word art, and it's like, what's important is that it could be real, or it could be in the industry, or it has to be. I mean, that's okay, that's true, but sometimes it's just having fun, and trying to tell something and trying to take people in your world and learning and I don't know how to say, but
I think it's a good point that you're making, though, because like I think a lot of people get so swept up in other aspects of it that they forget the initial inspiration for why they wanted to do it. Like they lose their purpose.
yeah, you know, and sometimes that's what it's not what I think it's dangerous or, but I think it's sad is that it seems to be the only way, and they always say it's the only way. That's what you should do. That's what you, and I'm not sure about this anymore. Maybe I was at one point, but now I'm more like what I like.
How about your art school? Because they obviously have a method of teaching. So don't they start with these basics too?
Well, before doing my art school, I did what we call a prépa in France. I don't know what's the equivalent in English schools or everything, but it's like a very tough school where you have to work a lot, and it prepares you for the high school, the graduate school after, and that's where I learned all the more the fundamental stuff like anatomy and everything. And then in my school after, in the 5-year school, there were no like naked drawing and everything. We made some observation paintings and drawings, but it was not that much academic. Well, as far as I can remember. But I think it's if I see everyone who went out, who finished my school, we have just so much different cases, and some people hated my school, some loved it, some say it was a waste of time. So I think that's why I'm saying it's more how you approach your school, your way of painting and everything, and the best way to always have your personal way of doing things is what do you want to tell, what do you want to express, what do you want to even learn for yourself and everything.
Yeah, I guess the storytelling is really important.
I don't know what I'm doing. Well, basically it's a face or a head, but I don't know.
Like the red-headed vampire chick. That was actually the first painting I saw of yours, like where she had like the wing.
I think yeah, it's a tribute for you, Cole.
I'm loving it.
Sometimes my process is very, very long, and sometimes very quick. I don't know if we will see like a finished painting like you can see on my ArtStation stuff in so little time. But well, you can see how I start at least.
Yeah, I mean you've already revealed like a decent amount of like planar information there, so just take it as far as you want.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you usually start out so organically, or do you typically prefer to like kind of plan out your images beforehand?
No, very organically. For personal work, always organic. For professional work, like it's not the same kind of art, it's for a purpose, like it's for a project, it's for to help the vision of a 3D artist or anything. So I have to think it out, even if sometimes it works from chaos, but that has to be structured for a purpose. That it can't just be like freedom and stuff. But here, like, of course, I'm going to do some freedom stuff because it's early in the morning and I want to do what I want.
I think your painterly style is definitely showing even at this stage.
Sorry?
Your painterly style? I think it's definitely like you can see the roots.
Oh yeah.
Right in the beginning. That's
But you know, I want to try to show you something. Like, how do I see this image? I see it like this. I see it like there is a face. Who is she? Okay, that's cool. I see like I love this shape. I like this, so I try to keep it at least for a time. And I like this and this, how it's like full-filled color and painting effect and a shoulder, but it's still white. And that's all. That's the only thing I'm seeing, in fact. I'm not thinking of anything else. And actually, the only thing I'm really thinking is I really like this part.
Yeah, it's very exciting up there. A lot of like it's almost like a good sense of like energy and motion.
Yeah, energy in motion and a little bit like, but well, we are in the vampire. I'm in the vampire stuff. Like it looks like, you know, those wings, bat wings, and I don't know, like demonic stuff, and that's exactly what I like. It's the vibration I like, and so sometimes it's a problem because I will never touch this part for like hours. And at one moment I will say, it's maybe time I have to paint the hair, and then I have to like.
You keep just kind of avoiding it because you love it so much, and you're like, I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, and this is, you know.
You can always play it safe and do a layer above, I guess.
Yeah, well, you see, I never do. Never keep layers. I always like collapse everything. I just keep my layers to do some step-by-steps for ArtStation. Otherwise, I would collapse everything.
Yeah, actually, I noticed that on your ArtStation, like that you would have like a lot of the, especially for the vampire pieces, like you would have like the, you know, from the beginning to end steps, and like that's awesome. Like.
Yeah, well, that is exactly what I'm doing. It's like I'll keep this step. I'll paint, and I'll say, okay, this is quite good. I'm going to try something else. So I do a new layer, and I paint until I feel like I've done a new step in the painting, and then I will do a new layer with everything collapsed on it, and that's exactly how I build up my stuff. But I'm not doing like all those layers, like this one is FX, this one is arm left, finger 2,
finger 2.
But I completely understand people who are doing this, especially because sometimes I do it now at my job, because like before, like, okay, now I've done some lightning stuff, like, okay,
that actually looks kind of cool,
and I will keep it, and like I will collapse it and continue to paint, and my art director will come and say, it's really cool, but we should take off the lightning. And I'm like, oh. Fuck. I have to go back to this. And so usually I have to repaint everything above.
Yeah, play it a little safer there, I guess.
Yeah, so now in my job I do something a bit more safe, because, well, it's for the process. But you know, when I work in my job, it's a completely different mood than when I'm doing personal work, because it's when I'm in a studio or working for a video game, because I love working for a video game. It's probably what I like the most. I am working for a team. I am working for a project, and my main goal, the main goal of all, is the project. I don't think about anything else. I don't think about is this drawing cool? Is this everything? Is it worth it for the project? Is it what I was asked for? Is it going to be useful? Is it I don't know.
It's more goal-oriented, I take it. Like you're trying to accomplish a task.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's more. Because you know, when you are working with a team, when you are working in a studio, there are always a lot of problems and a lot of good things, but I think the only way to succeed is to think in always think what's good for the project. Because when you have like politic issues, like this guy is not nice with this guy, and maybe we should do this because for blah 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 blah. This could be really annoying, and it can block you when you're trying to creating and think, and it could be like even horrible for your personal life. But in my case, what I do is, okay, everyone is speaking politics and stuff, and everybody is getting angry, everybody is wondering, do we have to do this, everybody, and I'm just putting my headphones, putting some badass punk or heavy metal music, and I'm saying what's good for the project, and I paint for the project, and I don't give shit anymore of everything around me. And I think that's something I learned to do in my professional life, and it's the best way I can create and do things. It's always thinking about the project, not thinking about everything else. Sometimes, yes, you have to think about the team because we are together, so the team is very important. But usually what's building the team is the project. So if you think about the project, there's no more problem.
So I guess it must be almost kind of therapeutic when you get home and kind of just be like, all right, I get to just kind of go crazy now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like like a sickness, but if I go back to my great metaphor of the door, if you change the character that's behind the door by the project, it's the same. I would feel bad for the project if I didn't give my best to make him get out of the door, pass through the door. Mm-hmm. And I would say it's not therapeutic, but it's more like a philosophical way to see things, And well, it works for me. I think it won't work for everybody, or so as I told you, I'm not saying that's a good way to do or anything, but it works for me, so I apply it and I share it. And if some like thinks it's the same, well, good for them, and I'm happy. I could have.
Mm-hmm. So do you see this character behind the door right now?
Well, I've seen her. The problem is she's in from my Wild Vampires, but she is not her yet, or not really her. And so it's like if I had two doors and I had to choose. And I think I am going to change to be sure she is not going to be Evelyn, because I won't have time in the demo or even here to paint the character from Wild Vampire. So let's do another character from Wild Vampire, because let's say we're in this world, and let's just change something. I think just changing the hair would be enough to see.
Is Evelyn kind of like your baby?
Well, I must say I am quite difficult in when I see my own personal stuff, like I'm painting for hours, and like I come to one point at, okay, I think it's finished, I'm quite happy with it, I put it on ArtStation, and instantly I hate it. I say, I just so screwed up, it's so fucking bad. But sometimes you have some characters you actually like, or you feel it, you did something quite right or good. I don't know how to say it.
Kind of captures their essence.
Yeah, well, once again, they passed through the door. I feel that they are good, and I have some of them. I can on my ArtStation, I can see them, and I say, okay, this one he's alive, and and usually it's quite often the ones people like also, you know, because it's art is like a bond, a connection between people. Sometimes you just really did the good connection. It worked, and everybody likes it, and everybody is wow, blown mining and stuff. That's why I'm not too. Sometimes I'm impressed by technical things. Sorry, a little sip of water. I see a thing with so much details or so realistic, and I'm wow, it's so great. And I like this connection, the technical connection. But usually, and I think it's the same for all of us, it's when you find the real artistic connection that you are like mind blown by a piece of art, and you say, oh, this is so much what I like, this is so much me, you know, something like it's me. And there are very few artists I feel that, and there are very few of my paintings I feel that they can do this this feeling. But Wild Vampires, I don't know, I feel like I'm doing something that is quite close of being the real me. Like it has the sexy touch, the badass epics touch, the hard rock punk style, you know. So like it's really close of what I like and what I am. It's maybe my future baby.
Yeah, I would love to see you like take it into like a story, like, you know, flesh out the world and whatnot. Because I really like, as soon as I saw that the redhead Evelyn, I think you said was her name. Like
it's
like I didn't even know like if you were professional or not, but like I saw the style and everything, and I was like, look, I want to get that guy on here.
So thank you. I'm so happy. Yeah, and actually I thought of some little backgrounds for all the characters I've done for Wild Vampire, but it's, you know, very small stuff, just like little points for the character. Like Evelyn, so she is a vampire, and she is like this glamour, sexy girl. It's very like it's you know, almost kitsch, you know, like kind of girl. But in her story, when she drinks blood, she becomes like high voltage girl, completely crazy.
Kind of
So she is like the high voltage drinking blood
Is it
girl.
kind of like adrenaline almost for her?
Exactly. That's completely that. So she puts her headphone and she explodes
I like to
everywhere.
use the word voltage too, because like the way you do her hair is like almost like lightning.
Yeah, it's like she, you know, she got crazy and stuff, and so she fights I don't know, demons and other vampires and everything. And so she has one friend. It's the Mr. S, the guy with the skull head. You saw maybe on one of the paintings.
Yeah.
And Mr. S is like, you know, a very fashioned dandy guy, like always dressing himself cool and smooth and everything, brushing his hair and everything. And the thing that's strange is that he has a skull head. And in fact, it's because he is a vampire that hates the taste of blood, so he doesn't drink. And so, like he doesn't drink, he's all dried out and everything. But he still thinks he's cool and handsome and beautiful, and so he brushed his hair, but he is just like a skull guy. And so that's, you know, like the buddy. So I don't know what it would be
like the early stages of just kind of
Yeah,
putting a little
exactly.
backstory for him, little personality.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, sometimes it's just, you know, like I'm creating the story at the same time I'm inventing or painting. Like one of the last drawings I've did, like the hybrid princess, where you have a white-haired girl, very calm and delicate and almost naked. Well, she is the sister of Evelyn, so like the complete opposite of Evelyn. And Evelyn is her older sister, and she always like want to protect her, and she is doing the bad work. Like the princess is gonna be like her destiny is to be like the queen of vampires and everything, and Evelyn is doing all the dirty job for her and everything, like
kind of keep her from.
yeah, keep her from yeah. So that's it, I started painting. I was going on a very beautiful and delicate girl, and I was doing okay. Well, I guess this is gonna be Evelyn's sister, and I invent as well. I am painting the story and everything.
Yeah, I do that a lot myself, just because like sometimes like as you're painting, right, you ask yourself questions, right? Why is this character's hair this way? And then you have to kind of come up with reasons for why they dress a certain way, and that in of itself starts to reveal a little bit of their character, and you have to start to consider what's their background for them to make these decisions.
And this is really for when you're doing the chaos process. It's very different from when I'm in studio. And
when you're in studio, you already have the story, the plot, the prompt.
Most of the time. Like for Gods of Rome, you have okay, we have to do Zeus, like the god of lightning, and everybody knows what Zeus looks like, and at the same time, he could look like anything. So you have to find another way to show him. And that's how it starts. Sometimes I flip the canvas. I think everybody does those kind of tricks just to rebuild my composition, and that's it. Smoke. I hate to
make adjustments. Yeah, I've made that like a habit.
And I sing a lot when I'm painting, but I sing very bad, so I'm not going to show this on the internet.
No. You want to see your entire process.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
No, I'm just joking. This is amazing demo. I'm learning so much just watching you.
One thing I really like, and this is going to please you because it comes from my 3D work, is that's one of the reasons also I put everything on one canvas. I use the fluidity. I don't know how it is in English. I think it's fluidity as well, or liquify in English.
Liquify, yeah.
Yeah, and this is an amazing tool to rebuild your character, rebuild your composition and everything. And why I say it looks like 3D, because it looks like ZBrush, like when you're moving around your shapes and everything, like oh, I hate this chin. No more bad chin.
I found that like such a lifesaver. Like whenever you just want to make.
I use it every time.
Yeah.
Like, let's get this shoulder badass. One punch. And for a long time, it was my lifesaver. Now it's still often my lifesaver, but now it's also my expression. Like I can do crazy shapes, like this shoulder. I get it. Like the painters like Schiele, who is an expressionist. He was always doing like very tortured shapes, and at the same time it was still good, weirdly good anatomically. And I love this. I would really like to succeed in doing like less realistic characters and still very structured. And there are a lot of artists who do this very well, even in in comics, or like maybe you don't know this comics guy who died a few years ago, whose name was Topi. So I recommend everybody to go and see work from Topi, Toppi. Incredible, man. And one of the artists that like I had when I saw it, it was like this is exactly what I would like to do in my life, but I will never do it, so I'm gonna do something different. But anyway, it's like a guy, his name Bezinski. I don't know if you know that guy. He's a Eastern guy, painter. He is. You see, his paintings are so like weird and horrific, and at the same time so good. And it's all painting, all oil painting. And you're what? And you're no, it's impossible. And when I see those guys, I'm like, at first I'm like depressed, like I will never do something like this. I'm so bad. And after I'm like, now I have to do something right, and I take my Photoshop and I start to paint. Yeah, let's do some crazy stuff. Yeah, like, and after I did so much crap, I'm so sad again.
Yeah, like in outer body mode, and then afterward you're like, but it's still not quite there.
like you know, like in Japanese manga style, like I'm going to succeed, yeah, power punch, and after I did big shit, I'm so sad. With you, like
I've disgraced myself.
I'm so fucking sad. Like, you know, you're like this, like, let's go, I'm gonna paint. And after you, oh, this is so bad. And I'm so sad. That's quite often. That's funny because it's like she had a little bit like a kiss tattoo on her.
Maybe she's got some face paint. Ultra wild hardcore vampire.
Loving you, baby. I like those kind of tattoo stuff on faces. The only problem is her lips are banned now. I'm gonna change her lips, bitch. I'm gonna change my brush as well. I want to try something else. Let's take this one. This one is very, it's not easy to use because it's very painting effect. So that's the first one I used to do all those stuff here. But I noticed that when I use it very small, it really looks like my brushes from when I was painting with very small brushes on real painting. So I use it quite often. It really has like if you were painting on a canvas. So it has a little like approximative feeling. It's not sharp. It's like smooth, or I don't know, like you see all the muddy stuff. I kind of like those. Well, I like yeah, you know, just to let it go. Like okay, I painted with this brush almost everything. That's not a problem. I don't care. Let's change. I'll take another brush and start something else. I try really, you know, to have a free mind of what I'm doing. I just don't want to care anymore about what I'm painting. Just let it go. Let it go. I don't know if it's a good demo for the guys who are hanging out, but well, actually I'm having fun.
I'm enjoying it, yeah, big time.
One of the things that I liked you said earlier was right at the beginning you recognized the shapes that you thought were working out, and you still kept those shapes in there, and just started to build their own.
Here, I don't want to touch.
Yeah, exactly.
They are cool. They are cool.
So just recognize what works and just keep building around it, I guess.
Yeah. You asked for what I use, like layer modes and everything. Well, you can see the one I use the most is the normal mode, where I paint everything on normal mode. But usually, yes, quite often, I use. I'm just going to collapse some stuff here. Yeah, I use incrustation. It's overlay, I guess, like to paint some light things, or shades as well. Okay, maybe we could. Sometimes I just get the opacity a little bit down, just to give some depth.
Yeah, looking at your step-by-steps, I figured that you were using like an overlay or maybe color layer to kind of.
Color layer very often.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Cause like I would notice like
yeah, sometimes I start in black and white. Sometimes I completely start black and white. Sometimes like this, a little bit with some colors in it. Yeah, color layer. I discovered this with. I don't remember if it's Feng Zhu or well, one of the big guys. I don't remember which one. Feng Zhu may probably, where he explains that color layer doesn't influence the values, and so you can change your colors without changing the value. Like let's do some color mode here. Let's take any blue like this. Here I have some very light gray. I took a very dark blue, and when I put the blue on the gray, it's like the good color from the dark blue, but with the value of what I painted. And this is very important because sometimes when you paint, even like just in feeling and everything, you are doing great values and you try to add some colors, and colors have their own values sometimes in it, but you don't feel the same. And like this, you can just protect them. I kind of like color.
Yeah, this was great when I was learning how to go from value sketches to colored ones.
Yeah, it's really very important. And overlay is very important. It's kind of weird of how it works, because it's like it adds a little bit of the value, but also of the color. That means if you take a middle tone value, it won't influence that much the value behind, but it will add just the color. But sometimes you want like I want to take some a blue shadow, I don't know, and it adds at the same time the shadow and adds the same time the color, and I like overlay for that. I find it's quite cool.
Yeah, I usually use it to like kind of bump up my darks a little bit, typically.
Oh, and I discovered something with what's his name? He's extremely good. Peter Morbarcher. I don't want to hurt his name. It's you do Control Alt 2. It selects only your RGB information. You do Control Shift C. You copy those information. Control V, and you have on one layer those RGB informations. And it looks like you can do anything with it, but it's like a very good creator of chaos and values and everything. Like if you put it in overlay, it does wow, bumps out everything, and you can like play around with it like and like take it off and put back somewhat here. It was cool, like this, back down, like do new forms like this, and after, when you finished with it, you do back and forth and you say, oh, wow, my painting before was just so light, and now it's much more deeper and stronger. Like I like this this technique.
Yeah, that's really very cool. I did not know about that. It's really awesome.
I discovered it in a demo he made for I guess it's Level Up group, and it was, oh my, this looks cool. and I tried it. It was so funny. I think this girl needs this person because it's more like a androgyne girl. She needs cool headphones because she's gonna listen to good punk rock group, and this is gonna be cool. I like headphones because it adds a simple, a simple form, very geometric and complicated paintings. I like, adding a sphere or a round. Like this. This is so good. This is exactly what she needed. Like, right?
Alexandre, one thing I noticed about your paintings on ArtStation is that you don't sign your name on them.
Yeah. You know what? My wife tells it every day. You should sign. Well, this is complicated. It's a little bit like, it's a long story. At first, I was always signing my paintings. First of all, because it's good, in fact, to sign your products because it protects them a little bit. Like people knows it's you, and it's like we can't.
If it gets shared, if it gets passed around,
exactly.
Know your name.
But I had a kind of weird feeling when I was seeing that I was like putting my signature on my paintings, like Alex Chaudret, and I was like, I am like doing like the great masters from the past signing my paintings, but I think they are crap. So I was like, who the fuck I'm thinking I am, How can I do that when I with my bad paintings and crap stuff? And so I stopped because I was thinking like it's not good enough to be like this because it's not just a signature. It's like I am like a masterpiece, and I just couldn't do that. I didn't feel it was right to do it, and so now I never do it, and it's probably bad, but well. And one thing also, the great artists from the past, when they were doing their signature, it was not just like I put my signature anywhere. There was a reason it was here, or like in comics, like here and everything. Sometimes it was protection. Sometimes it was because it was a kind of art school, or like the guild of artists was doing here and here and with this color, and you have to put the seal of the star and everything. Something that really annoys me when I see it on the internet. This guy who he does the painting. Sometimes it's good, but usually it's not very good people who do that. And after they finish and they are like, what the purpose? Like, you did this painting to show that you did this painting? Why is it so big? Why is it so important for you to put your name on it? And since I am now painting more like to be, free-minded, and as I told all the way to you guys, I'm doing those for fun. And so for me, it's like I had fun. Like I played a very good soccer ball game today. Did a very good painting. And so I don't think about I created a great masterpiece, and I want everybody to see that I did a masterpiece. So that's why I usually don't sign. Oops. But my wife always tells me, you should sign everything, because if somebody takes it, you're going to be bad. And she doesn't have a voice like this, but she always... because she's not a grandma.
Okay, that's a very interesting point. And
But I know it's someday maybe it will be a problem, and I will have to sign my things. Actually, it sometimes had been a problem because I saw like someone taking one of my paintings and saying he did it for himself or everything. I found it that's funny and annoying at the same time. Funny because I was my painting were good and he took it. I was flattered, and after I was annoying because I don't understand what's the point to take the picture of somebody else. Just what's the point? Why did you do that, man? Because I don't know. Is there something? What's the great thing to be that people say you did great painting, or the self-esteem to feel I could do a great painting and I did it. And for me, it's much more important. So why would you take someone's else work? No. Well, this is all the plagiat and copy stuff. It's a big issue.
I think fortunately for you though, your style is kind of stand out. Like I feel like I would recognize your work if I saw it anyway.
Now I am very flattered. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Well,
I know
after
if it's like super crazy, like awesome, like line, like kind of like with the hair and everything, and it's a vampire chick. It's I'd be like, all right, I bet that's Alex.
well, that's cool.
yeah, especially if you don't see a signature.
Yeah, everybody signs their work, so you're like one of the one guys that doesn't. So it's
This
like
is
it's
anonymous. Yeah, I'm like Black Ninja. You think you saw me, but you just saw my blade. Black Ninja. That's my signature. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to think about those signature things, because it's true. I have to be honest. Of course, you are happy when people recognize your work, when people say your work is good and everything. That's why you put on internet. Of course it's for visibility and finding jobs and everything. It's mostly for that. But come on, everybody is happy when he sees that he had I don't know 100 likes. Of course you're happy for that.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I think is getting a little bit annoying with internet is, well, it's not for you guys, but it's with all those teaching courses and things. The two effects I see is there is a lot of people doing always the same things. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I think it's this artist. Oh no, it's an anonymous guy. I don't know, but it really looks like he's okay. That's strange. And the other thing is everybody is saying he is a teacher. Like everybody can give critics and everybody can give his advice and everything. And I'm okay with critics. It hurts me sometimes because I am very, there's one of my friends who said, Alex, you receive 1,000 good critiques and then you receive one bad one from anyone, no one, and you're like in depression, like you're going to die. And it's true. When I receive one bad critique, I'm like, oh my god, maybe I should stop doing drawings forever and maybe gonna hang myself. And I'm laying down like I'm so scared, and my wife is, what's happened? I had a bad critics on Level Up. It's okay. We're going to have lunch, and no, leave me alone. Leave me. I'm going to jump from the window. Art is no more sense for me, and everything. And it's just sometimes those people doing critics, they should look their own work before giving critics to others. Because I am more like, I've done teaching and and stuff. And I always think it's better to teach in face-to-face, because you can hear me, or even if you saw me on the webcam, I'm more like, woo, I jump everywhere and expression stuff, and I do a lot of stupid jokes and everything. And it doesn't, you can't give this when you're just doing a comment on the Facebook group or anything. But there are people who feels they need to do it, and that's I think it's quite strange, you know. Like, why do you feel you have to show you're better, and you know better, and you know thing, and you noticed something? I had recently this with one of my drawings. I did the one whose name the Clown Assassin. Okay. Which is a girl, you know, with very blue electric hair, and she's naked and a lot of tattoos on her body. And well, I finished this painting and was like, yeah, it could be in Wide Vampires. Like, it would be funny to have a very sexy assassin who is like maked up like a deadly clown, and she jumps with her blade and she kills everybody, and the last thing they see is like a grotesque head of a girl, which is very sexy and at the same time a clown. That's all I was thinking about, and I was like, oh yeah, blue hair, that's cool, and that's all. And I made those tattoos like Chinese tattoos, because it was the traditional assassin in the Japanese and stuff. They had those kind of tattoos, and I was working at my studio on a character who had the same kind of tattoo, so it was like in my head, you know. I put this painting on ArtStation, Level Up, and all those kinds of stuff. So instantly I hated it, because that's me. Just like 1 second after, so you have people who say, oh, it's cool and everything, so I'm happy, I'm flattered, and it's great. And after there's somebody who comes and say, "Ooh, your design sucks because Jinx from League of Legends is exactly the same. You copied her." So I was, oh, I know League of Legends. I think I know Jinx, but I absolutely didn't think about her when I was painting it. And so I saw she had some tattoos, she had blue hair, and I was, oh, okay. And that's it. And I was fucked. That means everybody now was saying, oh, it's Jinx. Is it Jinx? Is it Jinx? And it's, okay, well, it killed that character. I won't be able to see her anyway now than like a Jinx fan art, even if I didn't want to.
Is it the one that had like the pink skin almost, and then like really light blue hair?
Yes, it's recent one, really recent. It's her, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, I finished her and I was like, yeah, it's a cool idea. It's punk. It's like sexy, and it's perfect for my project. And you suck. You copied everybody. And I was, oh man, like, come on. And sometimes it's hurting, you know, because the worst thing I think for an artist is to hear you stole it from somebody else. Like, you are the thief. And
especially for something kind of small like that too, because it's like, I mean, a lot of characters have blue hair. I mean, you know, it's rather nitpicky to me. Like, I didn't think about it when I saw her. So.
Yeah, one of my friends who played League of Legends a lot told me, well, no, I didn't think about it. So I was kind of, okay, I feel a little bit better. But yet, you know, I know that's it. The character is dead. I just can't use it anymore, because I will always somewhere it's relevant. Somebody think about it, so there is something true. That's what's hard with critiques. Sometimes, even if it's bad or hurting your feelings, somewhere it can be true for some people. And I am really a victim of this thinking of somewhere it can be true. So I have to kill that character, because I have no choice. Because somewhere somebody is.
Are you like kind of like trying to like in the mentality of like I gotta please everybody almost, or?
Yeah, very often I had that. And you know, having like, I really tried to do something that was mine and to be recognized to be mine, and somebody told you, well, you stole it, and this is just the worst because it's absolutely not what I wanted to do, and it's unfair somewhere. It's my fault on the other way, and it's yeah, it's very bad feeling. But this is the internet. It's like everybody can give his advice, and it's cool because it's like vibrant. You know, it lives. But sometimes it's very, very painful. Very painful.
But it's also interesting that you're a character designer, right? And you design a character. But
Yeah.
now suddenly, because of the internet, because everyone can comment, you suddenly have this pressure that every character you do has to be so special and so unique.
Exactly.
And I mean, if it's a vampire, it's gonna have wings. If it's a Western character, it's gonna have a hat and boots. You know, you're
Exactly.
going to have things. Otherwise, you'll be making characters that are completely ridiculous, don't make sense, like bubblegum boots or whatever. You know, you're gonna have some things that carry on. To, you know.
And
Yeah, there's always thematics, I think, for sure. So it's kind of like finding a balance. I think it can be tricky.
And you know, it's quite strange because sometimes you are like, everybody is saying, yeah, you have to do, your character is not, you know, it's just a vampire, or it's just a Western cowboy and everything. And you should go further, you should do a better design, or it looks like the design of someone like this. And like 1 minute after, someone who is like recognized like someone famous, and because he is good, huh? But of course, but he puts exactly the same kind of thing, and no one is gonna say it's just a cowboy. So it's like, you know, you sometimes you have the right to do it. Sometimes you don't have the right, and the only thing that changes if you have the right or not is the number of likes you have, and that's quite annoying.
Rating, I guess.
Yeah, it's strange because me, I was surprised you came to do a demo with me because I'm not at all in one of the famous, you know, guys. I don't have thousands of likes and 1 million views on.
See, for me, like that sort of thing is not important at all. I just go based on, you know, if I see a piece that I like or somebody that I think has a stronger ability than me that I could learn from, like that's my motivation for the demo. Like,
and that's what I appreciated. You know, that's why I accepted to do the demo because it's my first one, and I knew one day I'll have to do it because it's also, you know, for work and also for the ego. It's cool. We can't lie that we are happy to be seen and recognized and having people say, oh, your work is good. It is flattering. It is. It would be a lie if you don't say it. But I liked the fact that you know, give me a chance at least, because I was not with 20,000 million views and everything, and you came just and say, I like your art style and I want you to speak on a demo, and I was like, oh, this is really so nice, so nice.
Yeah, I was very much looking forward to it because, like I said, I'm trying to get kind of a more medium in my work, I guess, trying to like get like see somebody's process who's more painterly, and
yeah,
like out of that, like years, like as soon as I saw that, like the redheaded vampire girl, I was like, yeah, I've gotta see if this guy would actually come and talk with us.
You saw the character through the door, bro. You saw it.
Yeah.
No, that's why I like Evelyn. I'm sure she can get a connection with some people. Oh, I had a lot of problem with feminists as well.
That's like my favorite thing is like female characters and like painterly style. Yeah, like it was just right up my alley. So
well, you know, like with the clown assassin and the hybrid princess, and even with Evelyn, I had a lot of why is she naked? Why is she sexy and everything? And I
Why
wanted,
not?
I'm gonna give a little explanation about this because I'm not annoyed by feminists. I don't care. It's not my vision of like my vision is we are all humans, men and women. So we are all equal. But if we are all equal, why should I have a fight with feminism? It's like we are the same. So don't call yourself feminism. Say just you have problems with some humans that are annoying. Okay. And very often I paint now women's and sexy women's. Why? The first reason is for a very, very long time I was unable to paint women's because I was very bad at it. I was always painting men and bad and fat bearded guys and everything. And I always wanted to paint women's, but I couldn't. I don't know why. They were ugly and it doesn't work and everything. Now I worked on it and I can do female characters that I like. And so, well, it's once again just a question of pleasure. I like to paint this, so I paint it. And so. And when we were asking me, but why are you doing like a bikini armor instead of a full armor? Because women's are the same as men and everything. It's absolutely not what I'm thinking about. Sometimes I do, and I like to do, women's with big armors and stuff because I find it cool. When I paint women's with sexy stuff and everything, it's an art purpose, just an art purpose. Because what I like in women is the curves. I fucking love those curves. I mean, it's true. It's even
I
not
mean, it's
like
related.
maybe there is a sexual thought behind it. I don't know, but anyway, when I draw those curves, like this little line and the thing in the back and everything, I don't know. My eye always find I've done something beautiful, and that's why I'm doing them like this. And that's all. Like, why do I draw so much skulls? Because I uh, like people find, associate skull to death and everything, and I like to do something like pleasant to be looked, like it's beautiful, but it's skull, like it's death, it's something repulsive, and so
Get
I
a little
like
bit
this.
of contrast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just my no, it's how I feel it. After sometimes it's also for the story, like I like a guy with a skull helmet, I find cool, and I like that this girl is like bitchy and everything. But
Yeah, I think
mostly
that's a
it's
good point,
just
actually. Like when it comes to narrative, like in real life, there's a spectrum, right? There's some people that dress,
yeah,
more uh, you revealing, and then there's some that are more conservative. And if you're gonna make a realistic world, you're gonna want a spectrum of characters that have different ideologies.
exactly. But the point is, I have no interest in doing the real world.
Yeah,
So some artists does it, and I admire the artist who can find the very good subtlety. Like this woman is beautiful, but and awkwardly sexy, but she has not the sexiness standards and everything. I admire this, but it's not my. It's not what I can do. It's not my doors. It's my me. I like this kind of really punkette, bitchy girl. Like they're sexy, but they are like putting things that are not like tattoos and everything, and they're still like so appealing and not at all appealing. And I don't know. Her hair are really cool here. It's like a dark Evelyn.
yeah.
Dark Evelyn. She's like Evelyn, but dark.
Darker.
I use this one. What's in English? Soft light, because it's like for me. I use it like it's like overlay, but lighter. That's the only purpose I use soft light. Dun, dun.
This is getting pretty close to finish. Complete finished piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
She looks like she's quite graphic. It couldn't be a design, but it could be like a poster, or you know, a cover for a music album, like for I don't know,
goth music.
Yeah, wild music.
Wow.
Something like this. She would be nice for this. I hope my English was good, because
I mean, honestly, it's one of the better ones we've had. We're used to like very intense accents, so you got no worries. And unfortunately for me, like I took several years of French, so like I'm used to hearing it, I guess.
Okay.
But yours isn't very like, it's not like a heavy accent. It's just like a little bit. Touch.
Well, I lived a little bit in the United States when I was, well, actually the 3 first years of my life. So American English was my mother language, and after we went in France, and so I learned. Well, I use French every day, but I have, like, you know, a little bit of English essence that come back when I speak a lot. So that's why I have not such big French accent. Well, at least not on all words. When I use words with a lot of R, like street, sometimes I say it like in a weird Eastern Europe way, like, I'm gonna go to the street. I noticed I didn't save a lot my image. I have always to put Control S because it's very important. Don't forgive the Control S button.
So Alexandre, what's next for you, like in your career? Any plans besides, you know, Wild Vampires?
Well, actually, I'm quite happy at Gameloft so far, because when I was at Spiders, I had almost no art director, and I was like feeling like, I could be an art director and everything. And when I arrived at Gameloft, I discovered a very good art director, and I understood I was not ready at all to be an art director. And that was like a big change for me, because for a long time I was planning, one day maybe I will be an art director, maybe one day I will be an art director. And now I am, maybe I'm not made to be an art director at all. But it could have been like depressing, but it had been like it's freed my mind again. Like, okay, maybe I'm good to be like not the art director or the captain, but the very good soldier, the one who was always by the side of the captain. Like the captain is, oh, what are we gonna do, Smith? Don't worry, sir. I'll be here with my gun. And like. Actually, I am trying to have this position to be like, I want to be good at what I'm doing and nothing less for one point, for this point anyway. After I've always had like some main dreams, like far in the future or anything. Some are big, and some are smaller. I've achieved one of them, that was to draw and paint every day. That was one of the big ones, so now I'm happy for this. I achieved quite recently one other one, that was to do at least one illustration or painting for Warmer, and so that's done. It's not released yet, but that's done. So like I'm relieved for this. I think one day I would like to do, because I played a lot, one Magic the Gathering card. So maybe one day I'll do this. But that's maybe like the small dreams, small goals. In the big goals I have, there is one that is like, I would love to. What's happening here? To have my own, like a game has my own art style, or where we can recognize that it's my own work. So it could be White Vampires, or it could be anything else. I don't know.
Something that's kind of more your own vision, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That we can sense that it's mine. And one of my dreams I really, really want, I hope I will do it one day, I would like to have my own Pyramid Head. I don't know, you see who is Pyramid Head? It's the monster of Silent Hill. Yeah. And why I'm saying that is, I don't remember the name because I'm very bad at names, but this artist who created Pyramid Head, he created a legend. I mean, everybody knows who is Pyramid Head in the industry, and everybody know that this monster is dangerous, and that
it has a reputation.
Yeah, it has a reputation. It's a legacy. It's a legend now, and I would love to have one creature, one character, one design. I don't know, something that becomes a legend like Pyramid Head. I would like to have my Pyramid Head. Even if we don't know if it's me who made it, but everybody, you could, like, in the movie, you will see some characters like in the bus. He walks and he stands on. He sits in the bus, and there are two kids close to him who are saying, "Oh my God, have you already fought against the Pyramid Head?" And he's, "I was just the one who made the Pyramid Head." And I would like to have this feeling, like everybody knows the character, don't know it's you who made it, but it's like urban legend, So maybe one day it will happen. I don't know when or how or if it's even possible, but this is one dream, one man dream.
I mean, if they ever make like a Wild Vampire movie, Evelyn, could
maybe. I would like to convince one of my 3D mates or 3D friends to make Evelyn, like in a 3D sculpture. So it could be like, even if it's, in different art style, like a Disney Infinity, or just, to see her become real. I had some students who came and asked me, "Can I use one of your designs to do a study in 3D?" And I was always, of course, if it's not, copyright anything, you can do it. And there are a lot of people, like one of my designs who is often asked for 3D is the one named Gruten, who is, this strange guy with big rocks, hands, and tentacles I've made a few years ago. Like, I don't know, I was gifted by the gods when I did this design, and everybody likes it, even if he's completely weird. And a lot of people ask me if they can do it in 3D, and I'm always, of course, I'm so happy when I see it after in 3D. And I would like somebody to do Evelyn in 3D as well, because I think she's sexy. She has a lot of success on PornTube or anything like this. Like weird vampire sexual stuff. Click, click. Oh! Staring Evelyn. Hello, boys. It's me. Maybe you can put this on the internet. That's not good. Yeah. And what about you guys? What are you planning for the grind, for your group?
Just kind of keep building it and you know, again, the big focus around it is just on personal improvement. Like everything that we do with the art talks and then the demos and stuff is just to not only get better you know, ourselves, but also, you know, maybe it can, you know, get other people together and working alongside us to improve.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I'm just trying to get good enough to pursue. Like I've got some ideas for some graphic novels, so that's kind of where I'm trying to.
That was your secret purpose.
Yeah, that's my mission, right?
It's exactly.
That's the door I'm trying to open.
Yeah, well, I have some big things coming up. I'm from Pakistan, right? And just recently there was this new animation studio that opened up.
Yeah.
And they're working on Pakistan's first handmade animation film, which is going to be in the style of Studio Ghibli. And they're recruiting people, and I'm sort of in the negotiations with them.
Oh.
So hopefully by next week it'll be like my first big step up in this field. Because right now I'm just doing this for fun, you know. I'm just
good job,
learning.
bro.
Yeah, so let's see how it goes. I'm pretty excited for that.
Professional work is the best way to get some improvement and become better in this
especially to work with people. That's the best. Like that's the dream, right? Working by yourself, it's fine, and then when you have a group, you learn together, you grow together.
Yeah, it's true. After you have to be in the state of mind that even the bad experiences make you a good experience, because you can be also in a very bad team or with very
you can always
annoying
learn what not to
people.
Do.
And but even this is somewhere it's teaching, you know, it's learning stuff, how to deal with people who are difficult, being yourself, not someone difficult. This is, I think, very hard because it's not easy to see how you act with the others. Like I know I am like a very joke guy, and I have absolutely no limits in jokes, and I can do. The more we push me, the further I go. Like I can go in very deep bad jokes, but I always, if I feel that I went too far, I'm like I apologize and I'm so sorry and everything. But sometimes, you know, it's too late, and I learned this at work, that sometimes, you know, you have to be careful and everything. But it's true, the way I see work, and especially in art field or in video games, is we shouldn't lose the fact that we are having fun, because we are lucky. We are so lucky to work. That our work is to paint. You know,
Yeah.
I'm so, like, you have always, you know, like some jobs that you admire. Like I admire so much doctors and firemen, or, you know, infirmary guy, and like or even guys who are building houses, and I'm like, what the fuck, I'm drawing, you know. And I'm earning money, sometimes more than others, because I am drawing, I am doing monsters and stuff. So when I have this state of mind, I am like, I shouldn't complain. I have no right to complain.
Hit the job jackpot, basically.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard, and especially it's hard when you have the politics problems, like or politics issues, like I want to grow in my career and this guy is on my way, or you're on the way of somebody who wants to grow his career, or you have to manage with editors' choices or bosses' choices, or it's absolutely not what you wanted to do, but you have to, and everything. Of course it's hard, but at one point you have to think, okay, the important thing is the project, and the important thing is every day I am painting, and I'm lucky to do this. That's it. That was like the emotion moment of the demo. You have to be lucky, bro. And you have a tear coming out of your eye. Yeah, we're so lucky. It's so hard to be a painter.
Man, this was a funny interview, man.
Yeah. Yeah, this was great actually.
Exactly. Like, we are so lucky. And they're going away with the sunset. Like, and you have one of the weird Japanese song like Akawuki Shasha Noki Santori Painteru Concept Arto Concept Arto Ciao ciao. That's it. That's it. Exactly what we need. Oh, it's important.
Started with a movie, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You could be the art director.
Like, no, I would be like, the guy with glasses who is always putting back his glasses, like, Satori shonen concept art. And like, oh, wow, like ninja. But it's important to have fun. What I hate,
Yes.
it's when you go in a studio or video game studio and everybody is like very serious, and you have to be careful what you're saying, and be careful this guy, and what's important is the money and everything. Of course it's important, and you have to keep it in mind that you're working for something, and that you're working to win some money for your company or anything. But come on, it's video games. You have to be. What's the point of being in a video game if you're not having fun? I mean, isn't it completely hopeless if even in video game industry you can't have fun? There is no more hope for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And
No,
I think
I was
animation
talking-
it's the same. You'll have fun in animation.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, like I was talking to some guys earlier, and they said that same thing you said. We're so lucky to have this as a career, and if you're making money off of it, and you're earning a living, it's pretty great. Because if I learned that I had to be a lawyer for the next 40 years, I'd fucking shoot myself, you know.
Yeah, I understand. I completely understand. And there are so many stories of guys, who started like they want to be an engineer, or like I think Anthony Jones, he was a plumber, or we did some plumber stuff before saying, no, I can't do this for my whole. Even in my friends, I had some, who started and they were engineer, scientist course, and they said, stop. I can't do this for my life, and now they are in great positions, or even if they are still struggling, they are fighting to find their way in art stuff.
Mm.
Because I rely a lot on my friends. There are a lot of great artists out there, like who really help me. Like Anthony Jones, he will never know me. I think I will be completely anonymous for him, but I know him because of his streams and stuff. And at some point he saved me. Like I was completely blocked in my art, and discovering his videos, I was I could try maybe this. Maybe if I work hard on this, I will be better. Same thing for Fang Zhu or guys, one of those big guys. But what really counts, it's I think the proximity friends, especially maybe those who can understand you in some way because they are also artists. And I have really a very good group of friends from my school, my art school. We don't see much like in real, but we always chat every day and everything. And like some of them are really like brilliant, but they are how do you say, they are anonymous for the internet. Like nobody know them, but like that means I'm gifted to have them because they teach me a lot, they give me a lot and everything. Well, actually, some of them will, like one of them is now at Rockstar North, so I mean he succeeded. But you know, it's not even that matters. We're just happy for him. But what counts is that he will always be here to be honest with me and support me and things like this. And I think this is more important even than all the teaching you can find on the net and everything.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with that. That was one of the reasons that we started the group, was just to connect with other people that are kind of on this quest. Just to meet other people and
Yeah,
connect with them and get opinions.
I totally understand. After, what's very hard is you will have at one moment want to extend the group because you will. It's meant to be. You have to do it because it's why you did also the group. It can't just be only for having fun at 100%. And more the group is going to be going bigger, more you're going to also have some people who are like need some rules, and the more rules you have, the more it's going to be like very strange and stuff. Like I see on one group it was like me, I had no purpose of going and put my work to be criticized or taught. I was happy to have this group for exposition, and I could put my step by steps, and it was cool because people liked who had not this level. They could look and see the step by steps, and they were happy, and that was fine. And everybody, like, there was a balance, and everybody was happy. And then when the group goes bigger, well, you have people who are like, yeah, there's no point having better skilled persons putting their work. They should be just the ones who wants to learn, who should put their work and everything. And no. And so I was, okay, what's the point of this? I mean, I was putting my work, I was accepting critics even if I don't really care, but well, I put them. I was just showing my stuff. And why do I get like banned from a group? Because I was just showing my stuff, and it was the purpose of the group at the first time. And I think this is the destiny with internet. It always goes with this, because people can feel themselves more important when they say strong things on the internet. Like, I strike this guy. I'm so good. I'm so happy jerking off there behind PC now. Yeah. You see exactly what I mean. You see exactly what I mean.
Yeah, that's another reason why we did the group too, is just to kind of get away from some of like the politics of the other ones. Like it's just two people that like we run this group. That way we just avoid all that extra stuff as best we can.
That's good, man. After one, if you wouldn't be sad if your group just had a big boom and everybody was talking about your group and saying that's the best group ever. It's normal that everybody wants that too. But it brings also some problems, like annoying.
Yeah, there's always. I mean, you're running the characters for sure. There's no doubt about
it. Exactly.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to show you one last technique, maybe. Maybe that's one, because I just thought about it. Usually I use it at the end of the painting, but this is funny. What I do is I take a very textured brush like this one. I do, on a separate canvas, I do one blank stroke. I put white color, and I do one stroke onto like this. Like I have very contrasted stroke, like for painting, like if I did a big slash of painting. I go in filters. Wait, I have to translate in English, so it must be others and high pass. I think it's that. It's a funny layer that makes transforms your layer in this kind of weird mode that's only creates a contrast between the zones where you are strong contrast. And this independent stroke like this, I can put it in overlay mode or hard light mode. I think, yeah, that's it. And in fact, it creates my fake brush strokes on the painting. Well, you can just, put them at, like if you had painted it with oil or anything, like this. What? Mind-blowing. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm really glad you actually showed me that.
I knew it would be cool to be like at the end of the demo, like, oh, he speaks a lot, he says big shit about doors and everything, but actually that was relevant. I knew you would like this one. And so, well, yeah, after you can do different of them, or I don't know. Ta-ta.
Well,
And that's how you create your brush strokes on your canvas. After you have just to know like how it works in real paintings, like there is a different way to paint a circle than to paint this, and to paint a face. Like you shouldn't want to put a big stroke on the head, because in fact it wouldn't really exist even in the painting, in the real painting, because you would use a very small brush to paint on a face. So it would be small brush strokes and everything. That's the tricky part. But you could even use, like a texture of a painting you've made. You scan it and you put it on overlay on the full canvas. It will make the same trick.
mhm.
Sometimes even I take like a picture of a canvas, a blank canvas, just to have the texture of the tissue, and I put it on my whole painting, overlay. Well, I tweak it a little bit to not destroy the painting or flatten it up, and after, that's it.
I recently did that with the paper texture, which was actually weird because I had a pen sketch which I did on actual paper, took a picture of it, and then I added the crumpled paper texture, so it looked like, yeah.
And sometimes, I come back on those strokes and I reinforce some of them, or
Heighten it.
yeah, exactly. So they are not just the same pattern repeated everywhere.
But
There's
basically, like doing the strokes with like the black and white, then you switch to overlay and it kind of takes up the background color. Is that right?
yeah, exactly. And you can put it in hard light also. And hard light, it will keep your whites, I think, a little bit of your whites and contrasts, and so it will make like there are like still wet painting on your brushstroke. Woo! What happened? And you can actually do that on the whole canvas as well, on the whole painting. Like you put filter, other high pass, like on your whole painting, not too strong. And when you pass it in hard light, it sharpens everything. Like everything gets sharpened. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but maybe I can exaggerate it. Like, I'm gonna do it for fake. Okay, like I'll filter other high pass, and like I do it really extremely strong. So you shouldn't do that. But once you pass it after a high pass, you see how it's like everything gets sharpened. Well, that's what it does. So if you do it like very light, it just gives more strength to your sharp pieces, and so that's quite a good effect for painterly effects on a canvas.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, man, it looks great. Like, thank you again for coming on and doing this with
It was
us.
my pleasure. It really, it was a good time, and we had fun.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope so, at least. I don't know if people were hanging out, and They
Yeah,
like
it
it
was a
also.
lot funner. Like usually it's just like just regular kind of general talk, but like it was engaging. But yeah, I guess we're at about 2 hours, so I guess this is a good time to
Okay,
wrap. But,
perfect, perfect.
for me,
So,
thanks.
how how do I go back? Okay, I can stop sharing the screen. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Oh, here's video game.
Before we get off, is there any final thoughts or advice you'd like to give the viewers? Or
Well, never give up. I think it's the main point. Have fun and never give up.
I like.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Excellent.
thanks everyone for tuning in,
Yeah.
and thanks again, Alex, for joining us.
Guys, my
And
pleasure. My pleasure.
we'll catch you guys next time.
Yep.